The following podcast contains mature language and adult discussion.
Yo, why you teasing me like that, bro? Fucking waiting for days over here. Fucking should have known better with you, bro. I get you. I'm waiting. I'll get you eventually.
Keep waiting, baby. Keep fucking waiting.
Peace, dog.
No doubt.
Quite a week.
Yeah.
Kevin's here. He's here.
I had the sheriff's department come by and do a wellness check today. I got it. Well, I got him good because it always works. And I was in like some really tight shorts, and as he was talking to me, I walked up to him and I said, I pulled one of my balls out, and I said, "Does this look like a goiter?" And just that always throws them off because they don't know what to say, you know.
Yeah, they have the speech prepared. Sir, we were notified that, and you know, there's a big bulldog ball falling out of your pants.
Big bulldog ball.
Exactly. It's looking to a little Mayo.
So for the people that don't know, the easiest way for me to explain this is. So I did the thing last week, and I mean I'm not saying that I'm not in I'm not in a great place, but I promise you, everybody out there, this whole fucking week, people have been saying, "Man, we need you, we love you. You were one of the best, big man." Gee, if you're trying to save my life, you better say I'm the best, big man, okay? But anyway,
why don't you just list the three that were better than him?
Yeah, exactly.
While you tell him that.
Yeah, some of your early shit was tolerable, but we really need you to. But so anyway, Emily Sherman was Brad Siegel's niece, but she worked for us. I think she worked in International or whatever when we were in WCW, and her and Scott started dating. And she would travel with us a lot on the road when we go from town to town, especially from Nitro to Thunder. And it was always this ongoing thing where they would say, "Well, what do you guys think about that?" And Scott and I would both say, "Yeah," as soon as we get done sticking a pistol in our mouth. And then they would say, like, "Oh, that's not funny." And Scott would say, "Well, it is, because we're going to leave a note." So she's, like a couple people buzzed her and they're like, "Hey, your boy Nash, I think he's in trouble." She watches it and pops. She's like, "Oh, they don't know the skit."
The note gimmick.
Yeah, they don't. It's the note. You know, it's like that's what makes it. You know, that's what makes it funny.
So who called the sheriff, or are they just listeners or viewers and they decided on their own?
Just
from seeing the news or TMZ or whatever.
I tell you right now, I could call them and tell them I got a guy with a fucking pry bar and a fucking flamethrower on his back, and it takes 6 weeks to get there. But have TMZ fucking with their credibility, pass the fact. And what was dark about it? What was dark about that?
Well,
I mean, dark. That's not dark. What the fuck, man? That Wednesday show's darker than that.
Well, in the context of everything, I guess. You know what happens too? You get that snowball effect, right? So, like everybody here, the crew was talking before this, and Nobody here was concerned. And so we go off the air, and I don't even think we thought twice about it, really. But, a couple of comments, a couple more, gets a little coverage, gets here, and it becomes a monster. The noise in the closet is a monster after a while if you keep listening to it. So I think it was the people's consistent concern. And listen, I got calls from people and texts from people just because it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And when it reaches people's phones via the news, it instantly gets some credibility. But we're all happy to say that
you can see my pretty face.
Yes,
and it's absolutely lovely to see it just framed perfectly by the coastal regions and the lakes of Czechoslovakia.
We haven't shouted out that in a while. Is the artist still in business, or?
I see her work. I think I would hope people are still buying her. I haven't got tired of it being behind me. So
here's all right. So some feedback here. I came across this news story in something called the Sportster. If you can get that link up for me there, and I happen to agree with it. It's called, the article's called "Why Kevin Nash and Shawn Oliver's Kliq This Is the Best Ex-Wrestler Podcast." So it's not even up for debate in the minds of the folks at the Sportster, and the author Dylan.
What is the reason?
McIntyre. Well, it's a long read. Let's go through it. Kevin Nash and Shawn Oliver always had excellent chemistry together, dating back to the days when Nash would often guest appear on Oliver's revolutionary shoot interviews for KVU Commentaries, a company that pioneered the world of shoot interviews. If you're unfamiliar with this type of content, blah, 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 let me go down. Nash's interviews with Oliver stood out from the other wrestlers interviewed. As you can imagine, Nash would never get as animated as someone like a New Jack or a Jim Cornette, both often collaborators, but their conversations were much more relaxed. Nash is someone who projects coolness, exuding that understated charisma. These interviews back in the day helped to shed a new light on Nash for certain fans as they got to see just how laid-back, witty, and intelligent Nash is in his day-to-day life. You were able to identify with the big man after all the years of hearing about him through internet narratives. You got the real person, and Oliver was the perfect co-host for that because it was clear the two liked each other off screen.
Loved,
Daddy. So,
No,
all right, so
geez.
there's the first reason, I guess, is the chemistry that they reference. And then number two, Nash brings his unique perspective to the podcast. So they do talk about your not being afraid to talk politics, applying what you've learned from the business on today's product. Everyone go read it for yourself. It's a fine read. So that's the first piece of feedback I have this week. Eric Sims, I was forced to hear from once again.
Oh, yeah, because I had my timeline wrong.
Yeah, he was happy to mention. So I get the text, quote, here's the text that pops up for me. Just heard the podcast where I was mentioned. Good stuff, but Kev was off with the timeline. The NWO loop was 2016, and my Bell's palsy thing was 2011. So I wrote to him. I said, thank you. I forgot to tell you that we actually mentioned you. He writes back, always love hearing stories about me.
But did he at any time did he say, and I never said that Nash gave me Bell's palsy? He's just saying, no, the fucker gave it to me in 11, not 16.
Not 16.
That's all it is.
That's right. You weren't exonerated anyway.
No. I'm still fucking. I still get fucking Prick of the Year award.
For anyone that missed it, Eric was attributing his Bell's palsy bout to dealing with Kevin for a weekend of signings.
It was like 4 days, maybe 3 days. But he's one of those guys, man. Like I said it last week. It's just. You look on, you get on your phone and you pull it up and it says estimated arrival time 7 minutes from your hotel, and he wants to leave an hour and 40 minutes earlier. And he's another one of them cats who doesn't fucking eat. You know, it's just like, dude, I got to eat. I got to, like, if you
He's
would
eating something. Did you see the size of him? Oh, my God.
nice. What's his little, he's got a beautiful little, I don't know if he has any, I really haven't talked to him, but he had a beautiful little daughter that really kind of.
She's good. I ran into Eric in Philadelphia a couple of weeks ago.
That really chilled him out. I always liked him. It's just that, but sometimes, man, when he would go into that, the gimmick table, when he'd be selling he'd have some noise making shit, and I mean, it was just like, fuck, dude. There he is.
Which one is he?
Eric's in the middle. Eric's in the middle.
Oh, okay.
This is right after he fucking stomped fucking Atlas with his Vans.
Stood on his face a little bit, yeah.
And then wouldn't do the job for Tatanka because he was in the Kliq.
Because you're going to get a Kliq buried.
Fuck.
Eric Sims. Great source of material always. Timothy says, this is the only adult wrestling podcast that is up to date and not living in the territory days and the attitude era when ratings were through the roof and the wrestlers were on the road 300 days a year. Kliq. This is a breath of fresh air. The only adult wrestling podcast. Are there many children ones that I need to know about?
Well, I'd want to talk about something before we go any further. There was this one time we're in Tupelo, Mississippi. This is of course, Mid-South.
Whose face should I put up for you here? Who would you like to?
Ah, fuck.
You got a handful you could choose from. Baggett Building Company. Kevin will probably never read this. But I'm sorry.
I'll have it read to me.
Yes, you will. But I'm so sorry about all the loss you suffered last year. It may not matter to you, but the strength you show in such difficult times is so inspirational and motivating to people who have lost someone or thinking of suicide. Suicide or giving up on life may be constantly going through your mind, but you continuing to do a podcast and interacting with fans through such turmoil is saving people's lives through example. You may not believe it, but it's like you are here to save lives just by living. Thank you, Baggett.
Thank you.
Official.
You know what? So in essence, like last week, by saying that, some people like point out, saying like, there's a lot of people out there that are thinking about doing that, and you saying that is almost encouraging. Like, well, fucking if Nash is going to fucking pull it, and I never and I'm not saying that there wasn't a period in the first 4 or 5 days where it's like I took my fucking handguns, put them in the safe, locked them, took the clips out. I mean, took the fucking bullets out of the clips. Like there was a time that where it was like, what the fuck? But I used to always do this thing throughout my life, because I've always had handguns, where you stick a gun in your mouth. Just occasionally, and like maybe once a year, you stick a gun in your mouth. And
For what purpose is this?
Fucking check. Just check. I remember one time I was fucking on guard duty. It was Christmas. I was out in the fucking one of the towers. It's my first Christmas, at a nuclear missile site, and I'm sitting out there for 4 hours, and I fucking just locked and loaded a round in my fucking M16. I stuck it in my mouth, and then I you get real scared. You're like, oh, and you take it out and you unload it and everything else. And it's I don't know, man.
Is it like that thing? There is a thing. I don't know what you call it. It's a temptation. It's going to the edge of the cliff. It's like when you're walking over a grate, like a sewer grate, and you have your keys in your hand, and you start twirling them. It's that. It's just standing at the edge to see what the fear does to you.
But you don't put. It's like I never put my finger on the trigger. It's like like you hold, like you don't put your hand on the trigger.
You handed me a fucking handgun one time. The thing was like a cinder block. It weighed like a cinder block.
That's a Israeli. An actual, it's a Desert Eagle 50 caliber, but that's the tactical model. That's not the I've shot that before one-handed. It's a bear, man.
Were you numb for a week from the kick?
No, I don't know if I can do it now. My shoulders are so fucked up. So I have something I want to say. So everybody jumped on this whole, Nash is going to, oh my God, Nash is going to commit suicide. Nash is going to commit suicide. And can we pull up my last Instagram of just myself? Can we pull up a picture of me?
This is you like buying a drink at the gym and
I'm
look like fucking Thor or something.
Yeah, I want people. So does this look like somebody that is not taking care of himself? That like right now, am I contemplating like what my next set is, or am I contemplating, with a pump like this, man, it'd be a good time to put a fucking bullet in my head? It's like, come on, look at me, man. I'm 63 fucking years old. I've worked my fucking ass off. Like, use some common fucking sense.
You're also manscaping that beard very nicely.
Keeping that shit fucking tight.
There's a little bit of paste in the hair.
It's a little bit of fucking. I've got some product on. I mean, But hey, reports of my demise have been greatly overestimated.
Okay. Well, that's good news. Official Fingers Mick. Best way to start a Monday morning. Much love from England. Josh Hines. I struggle with addiction, and listening to your podcast really helps me and takes my mind off things. Fuck the haters, man. You guys are awesome. Hang in there, Josh. You can do it. Willy Wonka 3409. This is a very well put together show. I tried to listen to Cornette's after this, and it's unbearable. I don't know how I was ever able to listen to it. Well, Corny has a very dedicated following.
Yeah.
Listen, when you go to a concert, you expect the band that you're seeing to play certain songs. You're a fan of that band. Everyone's a fan of that band for the same reasons, right?
Yeah.
If you walk in and you sit down and Guns N' Roses walks out and Axl says, tonight we're going to do a string quartet, play some of our favorite classical music.
With that voice of his now, I'd say, fuck yeah.
You're not staying. So, and Corny plays his music. We play our music here. You like it, you stay. You don't have to buy a ticket. And Corny plays his music, man.
That's right. If you want to come over to Morton's and have a steak, we're here. And if you want to have a bag of crystals, he's got a couple options. Oh, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We love Corny.
Hey guys, Double J, Jeff Jarrett. Need to call a timeout real quick here. I wanted to tell your listeners what I've been telling my world listeners for a while now. It's about all the incredible things happening over on adfreeshows.com.
We're joined by Wrestling Royalty as David Crockett takes us month by month through Jim Crockett Promotions booking logs. David and Conrad dive into the towns, matches, and money of JCP in January 1985 on The Book.
Charlotte is really the home of Jim Crockett Promotions, is it not?
It is. Yes. It's the home. The thing is, the Greensboro was always the home of Starrcade. And, that the bigger matches we would take to Greensboro. Main reason is over the whole area, we had more population and road systems going to Greensboro than we did Charlotte.
We look back on the Turner years with the men who lived them. For the first time ever, JR, Eric, and Tony sit down with a couple of drinks and share stories like you've never heard before on the Ad-Free Show's exclusive After Hours.
For the 19th time, I had a regular size, grown-up refrigerator. I was a grown-up man. Money. And I had a washer and dryer. Shazam! And they were moved by Turner from Texas to Atlanta. They told me we're going to put them in storage while you stay at such and such hotel downtown.
Chat one-on-one with the Podfather. An extension of the popular Ask Conrad Mailbag series, Conrad talks live with ad-free shows members, answering their questions about wrestling, mortgages, and everything in between.
I appreciate you saying that. I feel the same way. You know, I've met a lot of great people through here, and you know, we all have something in common, and that's our love of wrestling and our inability to just let it go. You know, we all have this insatiable thirst and quest for more, and we want to learn more and be more involved. And I think it's cool that we all really, for lack of a better word, share a passion like that. And as a result, man, we can have a lot of fun together.
Hey, that's just a small taste of what Ad-Free Shows has waiting for you, including a brand new perk, getting to join in on the live recordings of the shows with 4 levels to choose from. See for yourself why Ad-Free Shows is the best value in wrestling today. Sign up now at adfreeshows.com. That's right, sign up today at adfreeshows.com.
Listen, Kev, have you searched your place, your apartment, your house, your condo for documents that the government might be looking for? Apparently, like gremlins, someone has watered them and they're popping up everywhere.
What the fuck?
I mean, if you had any.
I sat there when okay. If there was ever a fucking time to absolutely go senile, I'm fucking out of my mind crazy, and use that in any form or fashion, I'd get back on the bike and take another fall, whatever you got to do. But this fucking silence thing, like, dude, so you and I had this conversation, and we said, you got Biden is a bishop, and fucking Trump is a bishop. Well, Biden is only being charged with molesting 12 children, while Bishop Trump has 300. It doesn't fucking matter. And then on top of all that, you fucking know before the midterms that this shit is fucking, you got this red hot shit, and you've got all these, you got this incredible amount, probably the most in the last, probably since fucking Eisenhower, that are sitting there that are undecided. Are you going to tell me that fucking 6 top secret or classified pieces of material hanging out next to your fucking Matt Helm fucking Camaro or Corvette? Come on, man. Who says that? Is it Moss that does that on the come on, man. I think it's Moss.
Don't you, when Trump's was in the news, even if you don't remember that you might have taken something, do you turn to someone and go, should we make sure we're good here? Like, when the dealer across the street gets raided, you probably move your stash.
Or at least pick up security. Yeah. I just look at that, man, and it's just like, who has a building full of paperwork that they haven't been in since they were vice president, just sitting around?
Yeah, I don't know. It just seemed to me.
When I got out of the service, I took all my top secret clearance shit and put it in the shredder.
Did you?
Yeah, there was so much of it I had to actually use a super shredder.
Oh! It was a setup from the beginning. Didn't see it coming.
There it is.
Hey.
No, but I did. I shredded all my fucking top secret shit up.
So they give you it upon your discharge?
Yeah, because I was in that PRP deal, personal reliability program, and all that shit.
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
It's just, you gotta, and the funny thing is, man, we were drug tested like, oh my God, we were drug tested so much, but we used to fucking dip our fingers in bleach.
To piss on your finger when it comes out?
Yeah, and piss, because fucking, you sit on that tower at nighttime, fucking take a fucking can of Diet Sprite, bend it up, and take your fucking little pen off your shoulder that's got your rank on it, and put a couple of holes in that motherfucker, and dig a carburetor on the side. Little Borkin riff out there.
I never realized that. I guess you're randomly tested.
Oh man, we were testing all the time.
How do you get it in?
What, the hash?
Yeah.
Fuck, man, you got to roll your. As they call it in the Army, you got to blouse your boots. So you just put it in your boots. Put it anywhere.
So you buy it like when you're out in whatever city you're in.
You go to the Bahnhof in Frankfurt, and there's always some Jamaican dudes, and they always carried, and you would buy. I mean, you would buy a piece of hash this big. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is a big ass fucking pencil. I don't know if you can see that. It's a big fucking pencil.
Bluechew.
That would be 200 marks. So that would be about $60 for that piece of hash, and that piece of hash will last you a month. You usually got Lebanese blonde. That's what we usually got there.
So you'd have to stash it in the barracks. It wasn't just a one-time use.
Yeah, but it wasn't like they were fucking taking drug dogs to the barracks.
Well, I don't know.
I used to always, and then when I would take it to and from the NATO site, I would always put mine in my chemical, my gas mask, because it wasn't in my possession. So that way, there I'd be like, "Fuck, motherfucker wasn't in there when I handed it in." Maybe you need to talk to Roy. So,
I got a text last night about Jay Briscoe's accident, and I didn't see it anywhere. So I was like, maybe this is wrong. But within an hour, it came up, and so I just wanted to take a moment to anyone that I know that I never met Jay Briscoe, but anyone that I spoke to, both brothers actually, they always said great things about them. They seem to be universally liked in the business, just from people talking to me. Kev, did you have anything?
I met him. I met him one time. I want to think it was at Winston-Salem, that WrestleCade thing, and I'd seen a couple tapes and some YouTube stuff, and I thought that they were related to like the Briscoes, like Jerry and them, and so I thought maybe, but it was like, fuck, they're too young to be to be Jerry's kids or anything. But I just walked over and I just wanted to introduce myself because I thought they had a great look. They had a great look, and I don't know. I'm glad I did, and it's weird, man. Sometimes there's a room full of guys that are on the independent scene, and these two guys stick out, and you walk over and say, "Hey, man, how you doing?" And yeah, like if you told me that they were rappers, if you told me that they were BMX guys, if you told me they have that look, they just have that money look. They've got that 2022 look.
Yeah.
Now 2023.
No, they're actually still a little bald. They look 22 to me. 2022. They'll eventually get up to, well, not both, but
yeah.
But anyway, so of course Jay passed. His daughters were in the car. One was in surgery last night. Again, we're a little behind the. You'll be hearing this a few days after, so. The girls survived, and one was being operated on. The other driver, though, passed away. Those fucking roads. Do you have a picture of that? Firsthand from driving all over the place that when you have no median.
Dude, I drive up and down this beach road. And there's, like, especially down where I live.
Yeah.
Like when I leave here tonight and the fog comes out and the visibility, that's what I travel on. The only difference is we've got that palmetto and all this other shit, Spanish bayonet, everything else. So it's like you can't see anything but the road. And then we also live, and I'm not saying in any way that it takes away from that shit road there. But you know what, man? All it takes is somebody to there was a thing on the news the other day, and this woman was, I want to think it was in the University of Iowa has this machine, and what they're trying to do is show people like how long, and what they're doing now is, because every car's got that giant touch screen. Mm-hmm. And the guy said punch in, and he gave her an address, and so it's simulated like you're in traffic. By the time she punched like 3 of the numbers in on the address, she had already wandered like half a tire into that lane. Mm-hmm. And she's going in 3 lanes of traffic. This isn't bumper. This isn't, head-on situation. And it's like, I just beg people, and anybody that has ever traveled with me knows that we will not leave wherever we're at if I'm at the wheel, if everyone in the car does not have their seatbelt on. And that's just a rule. And people will always come up with this, yeah, but there was this one time where the guy went off the Delaware Gap Bridge, and they say that if he would have had his seatbelt on, they would have never, like, okay, that one time.
Yeah, the odds are still great.
Every other thing, you die because you get thrown from the vehicle, or you die because you go. It's just like your dome is, and on top of that, that restraining system is there to restrain you. Have you ever seen some of those pictures where the guy's got his feet up on the dash and they get in a wreck and that bag blows and that bag just takes the guy's legs and bends them backwards over his head? I mean, those airbags aren't to fuck with. Mm-hmm. And the system is you have a restraint belt that puts you this far, and then that thing comes. If you're coming, at 500 miles an hour inside of that vehicle and catching that bag could break your neck. Mm-hmm. And then people would always say, well, I'm in the back seat. I'm like, yeah, you're in the back seat. You're going to come at me with the force, and this is the truth, the force of a rhino. Your fucking skull's going to bash off the back of mine, and you're going to kill me because you think you're safe in the back seat. Put your fucking seatbelt on. Mm-hmm. And I don't think he had his seatbelt on.
Reports are that he didn't. I don't want to.
Yeah, and it's
the
just
bearer of false information, but right now the reports are that he did not.
And it's one of those things, man. It's just like that. People will have to deal with that the same as I have to deal with the fact that my son, drank alcohol and it affected his body, and it's like we're all gonna go. At some time. I promise you, and I promise everybody that's watching and listening, this motherfucker ain't doing a job until the man upstairs tells me, dude, I booked you, and I'll kick out on 2.5 if I get a chance. So don't think I'm gonna fucking do a clean job when I ain't even on the card. I promise you. And that's about as wrestling as we're going to get tonight.
I was going to say that was a very Cornette way to say you're not going to kill yourself.
Nobody loves him some Kevin Nash quite like Kevin Nash.
NMLS number 65084, equal housing lender. Woo!
5-star reviews are in, and it's confirmed SaveWithConrad.com can save you thousands. Jimmy E. writes that we saved his family more than $1,000 a month. James S. says we saved his family more than $1,200 a month. But how much can you save? It's free to find out right now at SaveWithConrad.com. But if you've got a second mortgage, if you've got credit card debt, or even worse, if you're in a 30-year loan, it's not a matter of if we can save you money, but a matter of how much at SaveWithConrad.com.
How about Chad Frost as a wrestler? What do you think
Oh,
of Chad Frost these days?
What, man? So, Sean Waltman gives me a text. He goes, "You watch Young Rock?" I said, "Yeah, I watch it here and there." You know, I said it's on my DVR. He said, "Did you watch this last episode?" I said, "No." He said, "You got to watch Chad Frost." So on the left is Chad Frost. Okay. Now, Chad Frost. So kid tells me to Google Chad Frost, and Chad Frost turns out to be Shawn Michaels, and the
character of Chad Frost is the show
actually Shawn Michaels,
right?
And I guess that like in the episode, like The Rock thinks that Hunter's burying him, and so he goes in, and I guess like Gewurz. And I remember this a lot of times, being around Gewurz. Like, Gewurz is one of those guys, man, that he just has the ability. I don't know if he's like the Predator, where he can like go into that camouflage shit and just like be in the room and you don't see him. But I guess he was in the room for this, and Shawn Michaels went in and buried fucking Dwayne. And so The Rock went in and goes, "Hey, I know, you know, that," and he was like, "No, that's not who did it at all." And it was Shawn. And Shawn at the time was hurt. And the thing is so kids talking to me about this, like, how do you not know this? And I'm like, it was 1999. Like, I wasn't there. Like, it's hard to imagine that the Kliq was separated for so much of this, you know, turmoil and shit that we caused. I don't know anything. I don't know the reference. I don't know. So then I said that I text Shawn back and I said, "Why wouldn't Dwayne just bury him?" Not that I want, you know, Dwayne to bury Shawn. You know,
why go through the trouble of the Chad Frost?
And then I go like, oh my God, it's like, that's like a double-double. If it's just Shawn, then it's like, okay, well, obviously they didn't get along, and then Shawn gets the rub for being on the show. This way, Chad Frost is the fucking cat. You got to look it up, and they fucking spell it out for you, and then it's like a double fucking jab.
You don't even give him the mention.
No, and it's a double jab from Dwayne, and I just thought like, wow, like I don't know if the fucking Kliq would have any heat if Shawn wasn't in it.
I mean, yeah, how much fucking shit?
He had a ton of fucking heat.
Yeah,
you know, just like
a lot of it deservedly so, just from an attitude perspective, right?
He was a cocky fucker. Everything that made Shawn work in the ring was like there are guys in this business that, and I think like I think Punk is one of them. Like Punk kind of has that where he kind of rubs people the wrong way a little bit, and he's just not a guy that's going to walk in. Like, I think Rob Van Dam might look at fucking him and say, "Dude, you're fucking up my zen."
Right.
You know, so, but that same quality that he has in real life makes him fucking like so great of of a character that you can invest emotion into. You know,
your best workers, their actual personality should creep out somewhere. And if you're talking about professional wrestling, you know, you gotta be a pretty special cat to have your personality be that engaging on television for so long. So yes, the things that made Shawn a shitty person made him a great heel.
But you know what the thing is like, he was only shitty to those people
that weren't him.
Yeah. But I mean, I never really had any. There was a couple little things like when I told him just to fuck with him that I wasn't putting Brett over and he wasn't seeing the belt at WrestleMania. Jesus, if he'd had a fucking butcher knife, he'd have killed me. But it was, you know, like he wanted what he wanted, and it's just like,
I'm doing a project with one of your friends, and he told a story about being in the car with Shawn, and Shawn was getting frustrated that you guys were getting ready to leave. And do you remember what Shawn said?
Them motherfuckers have got to go up against me. When they leave, they're going up against me. Well, I think there's a podcast that a good friend of mine does, Eric Bischoff, that's very one of my favorite podcasts. And I'm pretty sure that 83 weeks we went against him, and he did pretty well.
I love that when all arguments fail, when your friends are leaving, you go, well, going up against me, so, you know.
And you know what? In his defense, though, like he fucking put me over WrestleMania. He number one, he got me hired. Number two, he put me in tags as soon as he realized I could work a little bit. He put me in tags. He gave me spots with him and Scott. Like they brought me in, and then when he stepped down and I worked with Scott and I moved up the ladder, then I had my Royal Rumble in Providence. And that fucking Nash kid looks pretty damn good there, fucking clean, fucking 320. But I mean, you know, Shawn did all this for me, and now it's his turn finally to become the champion. And two of his best friends are like, sorry, dude, you're gonna have to find somebody else to work with. We're fucking taking the cash. I mean, I can see his point. I don't have a problem with that.
Oh, I don't have a problem with him being upset, but the reasoning was funny. Like, you're going to be going up against me. If you want to see Kevin and Shawn's match from In Your House, the Good Friends, Better Enemies, Thursday, January 26th at 9 p.m., ad-free show subscribers at the $29 level and up can watch that match with Kevin and me live and ask some questions, hear Kevin's thoughts about the match, and everything else surrounding the Shawn Michaels Kevin saga. There it is. The ad, the official ad for the live watch along, $29 and up, January 26th, 9 p.m.
Look at that fucking Diesel. He's just so smug.
I don't. Do you ever consider, if you were not boys with Shawn Michaels, would you have been able to tolerate him in the company? You know, we're talking about it from a perspective of, yes, a guy that got you hired and all that stuff, and the WrestleMania match and all that. But
I didn't know him in any form or fashion besides an ally.
Right, but I suspect had he not been in your inner circle,
I'm pretty
would
fucking
not have tolerated that.
I'm pretty laid back, man. I mean, when it comes down to it, sooner or later you get out there with somebody, and if he can't beat your fucking ass, he really needs to watch out what the fuck he does. Because, man, you can sit and put him in a rear fucking chokehold and take a handful of his hair and fucking put it down his throat, and it becomes
Didn't you used to blow up Sean every once in a while? Get in a chin lock and lean over him.
I'd put all my weight on him. I'd try to tuck his fucking hair down his throat because he'd be trying to run my ass fucking ragged. I'd be like, okay, you want to fucking try to expose me? I'll expose you. I'll just fucking lean my big ass on you and fucking.
Absolutely.
But it was out of respect. You know what? It was one of those things, man. It was just like we did it to everybody else, and when we worked against each other, it was like, of course we're going to do it to each other. Right. Like, I don't give a fuck who it was I've worked with in my life. You tell Scott Hall to hit you with something, he is going to fucking paralyze you. He is going to hit you so fucking hard. It's just, I mean, God, some of the fucking belt shots he hit me with. And I remember we broke each other. We went back and forth in like 14 days. I broke his nose twice and he broke mine once. Just
from going hard.
Just going hard, man.
Going stiff, as they say.
Yep.
Which brings us to the stiff one of the week.
Boom!
Sponsored by
segue.
Bluechew, Kev, one of our favorites. Listen, when you hear stiff one, you know we're talking about Bluechew. That's right. This segment is sponsored by Bluechew, guys. It is all about the confidence. Bluechew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead and be ready whenever the opportunity arises. The process is simple. Sign up at Bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. Best part, all done online. No visits to the doctor's office, no talking about your schmeckle. No awkward conversations in the pharmacy. It's all done online, okay, and shipped to you. They're made in the United States, prepared and shipped directly to your door in discreet packaging. So, listen, if you think you could benefit from that extra confidence when it's time to perform, chew it and do it, baby. Have some better sex, and we're going to continue our special deal for you. For months now, it's been going on, and it's one of our most popular sponsors. Try it for free, okay? Just use the promo code NASH at checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping. That's Bluechew.com, promo code NASH to receive your first month free. Visit Bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Bluechew for sponsoring this segment.
With the Super Bowl parties coming up, you can't have enough Bluechew in your pocket. You go to somebody's house, you go upstairs, you bump into somebody, boom, half bath, little Sonny Godfather against the wall.
Little Sonny Corleone, yeah. Close the door.
Boom, boom, boom.
Right, you never know. You got to be ready.
No, and you want to fucking. I mean, you want to come at. You want to. When you pull the sword out, you want that motherfucking steaming.
Right, ready to go. You don't have time to mess around.
No.
Especially if it's a clandestine encounter of which you describe. Today we're going to go to the Indies, Kev. We usually focus on the major leagues here, but we're going to go to the Indies. I believe this was out in Pittsburgh.
West Indies?
No, that was Columbus. This is they use the chop. I learned on the Indies. Look at this action here. We did a segment about selling the chop. Now you want to talk about a spot here. I don't know the players involved, but this was acquired for us.
We don't right now, but it's just a matter of time before
these guys absolutely
household names.
Let's see this. Okay, so. Yeah. There's a tag team manager duo outside the ring there that I want to see in the ring. Now you're in a bar fight, right? You're receiving these in a bar fight. Unbelievable.
Oh. Yes, quiet him down because boy, they're on house o' fire. Oh, man,
do the Valentine bump and everything. So the Chop is alive. The Chop is alive on the Indies.
Yeah, because those two guys are the most. I mean, they have absolutely. Besides the worst, they did win. I think one of them won runner-up for worst gear, and then the other guy was the oldest indie wrestler in Pennsylvania.
Now, outside the ring, what was going on with the Cornette looking guy and then like his dad that were both dressed like Amish warriors?
I think that it's I just think it's given it that regional authenticity of that Amish,
Right, it is Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
it is Pennsylvania. So that and
there were rumors. Look at that. Yeah, there were rumors that there was not an actual automobile in the parking lot. It was all
horse and buggies, right?
Horse and buggies. The guy in the opposite corner with the green boots on has been like, I don't know what he's doing over there. If
he's selling a ball shot for
okay. I thought he was giving
an inordinate amount of time.
I thought he was giving the guy a handy.
Oh, they could have been actually. Is this this is a Royal Rumble match? Maybe it looks like here. A lot of folks in the ring, and the refs. I'm told that the Amish are refs outside the outside the ring refs for the Royal Rumble.
Oh,
Battle Bowl.
I liked. I got the shot. It was I think it was somebody sent me a still shot of, and it was unbelievable because as a young child I saw that epic, that 2 frames of Bigfoot.
Yes, of course.
And here I am, just going through. I'm at I'm third party, but I mean I'm at this indie thing in mind alone, and here is the Yeti, as clear a shot as I've ever seen. I don't know if we have that, but
this is the video of him walking across the. This is the Bigfoot video you're talking about, like the Zapruder of Bigfoot.
No, I'm talking about the one that I saw at this wrestling match.
Oh,
did anybody?
No, the only Yeti I remember was in a WCW ring.
No, this guy, I mean, he comes by the ring and he's in the pose. It was on our
in our feed,
our text feed.
Okay, someone grab that.
See if you can find that, because I mean, Steve, it's in the text. Yeah,
okay.
I think we've got. This could be. I don't know if we expose this, because this could be huge money for us.
Someone get the History Channel on the line. We're going to
at least get national geography or something there.
Well, while you look for that, Steve, I'm going to.
Dom says we spotted the.
You got him.
I mean, the thing is though, it's not so much the costuming. It's
there. It is.
Can we get that a little closer? Pull that. I mean, he's got the hand, the motion. It's just uncanny.
It is a pretty good the turn, the pose, the turn from that old 8mm film. That is pretty good.
And of course, with everything now being like some kind of zombie shit, they threw the zombie mask on him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it adds a real element of fear.
Yes. Yeah, so something like that, and then you've got a bunch of just complete steroid, just gassed up guys in the background.
I was going to say, that's Ken Anderson in 2047 having a match above him in the ring. And All right, it is time for a new segment, Kevin. We thought we would want to mix things up a little bit here. We had 28 episodes of Jersey guy in Florida. It's coming, but we'll be back with that, of course.
Yeah.
But I found an archive of the old Dear Abby letters. Now, people frequently in the Ask Nash segment, they ask for advice. We've had like parenting advice asked. Advice about being with the ladies. We did a whole segment on kayfabe, which people enjoy immensely, with trying to pick up two ladies in the bar. So I thought, instead of Dear Abby, let's do Dear Sexy. Actual archived letters that were sent into Dear Abby, and I'm just wondering the advice that you would give.
This could be interesting.
To those that were looking for Abby's help. Here, we have a couple here. Here's the first one. Dear Sexy, something terribly embarrassing happened to me yesterday. It's every young woman's nightmare. My boyfriend's father walked in on us during a very, very private moment. We are both in our early 20s and have been dating for 3 years and plan to marry next year when we graduate from college. Good backtrack, young lady. I don't know if this was a surprise for his father, since his son and I have been dating for a long time, but I am very embarrassed about the situation. How can I ever face this man again? He told his son to let me know that he was very sorry and he didn't mean to invade our privacy. I felt a little better about the situation, but I'm still too embarrassed to look the man in the face. Do you think he feels differently about me now? And how can I deal with this? Kevin, you're a father. So
I don't have any daughters.
An interesting perspective. Well, the dad was the boy's father.
Oh.
That walked in.
What the fuck's he walking in for?
Did he gimmick the lock, maybe? And
yeah.
Oh, so maybe dad was a little more. Maybe the father and son were a little more complicit in the accidental walk-in than we.
That seems.
Well, she wants to know: does he feel differently about me now? What do you?
I'm sure if he fucking looked up your brown eye, he's got a different perspective of you. You know, depends on if his son has a decent sized hog and he walks in and you're taking that shit down to the balls. I think he's got a problem. He won't be able to get that out of his mind. Next thing you know, he'll be rubbing one off to her. That's bad. She needs to fucking run.
Just bail, right? Because there's no way the man can wash that from his... Does it depend what the young lady looks like in this situation?
Well, if you walked in, to me, if you like, anytime I've ever walked in on anybody in my life, the crazy movement that the two people do, it's almost like they've been hit with lightning. You know, they're just
scrambling.
It's not even sexual at that point. It's like they're trying to put out like nitromethane, like one of those fires at an Indy race where it doesn't have flame. They're just burning like ah. So I don't know how sexual that is.
Right. I mean, all he probably caught was her trying to throw the sheets over herself.
Yeah,
and her son with a rock hard one, bounding off the bed to slam the door.
I think that's one of those ones where you got to play a drinking game, see if you can loosen up the old man and see if you can use the truth serum on him and say, so, if I can rub one off to that whole situation or what there. I don't know.
I have another letter for you. Dear Sexy, I'm a grandmother in my 70s and have just returned from visiting my daughter, her husband, and their 3 darling children, all under the age of 5. This has nothing to do with the previous letter. Let me just get out there right now. It is in no way similar. And I'm upset with some of their parenting methods. For example, they lock the doors to their children's bedrooms at night because, quote, the children might get out of their beds and roam around the house and we may not hear them. If one child deserves punishment, all three are punished. And if one child says a naughty word, all three are given hot sauce in the mouth. Sexy, I know these parents love their children very much, but are these methods of disciplining them wise? Please understand it is not my intention to interfere. Graham.
Obviously, this is way before DFAX, right? It's those three fucking kids to be out of that house after the hot sauce. Fuck.
Locking the doors at night from the outside. How's that for a fucking fire safe?
Right?
Hot sauce in the mouth. One deserves to get punished. All this.
See, that's old.
Adolf and
that's old school that we used to get, where your dad would say, "I'm gonna pull this car over," and he'd pull over, and the mom would just turn around and smack everybody in the back seat. Like, whether you could be dead asleep, you were getting one. That was just that way. It was just, that was the way. You're all
kid in the 70s or prior. I'll even throw the 80s. I'll go 80s and prior. No kid didn't get whacked.
No.
Today you hear, I don't hit my children, or kids saying, no, I was never hit. Nobody, no child from 80s back didn't get whacked.
I got beat to death. I got beat so much as a kid. And I remember sitting down with my mom, and she said, she goes, because this is when all the shit was like starting to come around. I was probably, not quite 30 yet. And she was like, do you think I was a bad mom? I said, Mom, all the times you hit me, I said, I deserved every one of them. I said, and I probably got away with another 30% that I deserved. I said, no. I said, you kept me in line. I loved you for it. And I knew that, I said, I wasn't some bitch. It wasn't like you were going to knock me the fuck out. So I said, I just took my punishment. Mm. My mom actually did the 3 yardsticks taped together with electrician tape. And
stacked.
It's
like a Singapore cane.
And fucking right on the crack, right where your buttocks and hamstring. 3 of those motherfuckers.
Nice fleshy area back there. Yeah.
Go ahead in her purse and grab a Newport again, motherfucker.
I got the wooden spoon was very big with my mother. As I was getting bigger, because I knew to get my elbows up when the arms were flying. If you get your elbows up, she's fucking herself up. Trying to swing and getting hit.
I used to always
spoon used to come out.
See, I used to always do the drop your hands and stick your chin out. I used to fucking, when she was smacking me, I'd fucking, because you knew sooner or later, man, she was going to smack you and she'd break a blood vessel in her hand and fucking she'd hurt herself and she'd be so fucking pissed. And then I'd go, you happy? You fucking psycho? And she'd look at you like, and then later on, I'd just wait till shit calmed down. I'd walk by and she'd be in the kitchen or something, and I'd just walk by and I'd kiss her on the cheek and I'd say, I love you, Mom. And she'd be like, oh, fuck. And just.
Who got it worse? It's you, your sister, and
my oldest brother, Mark.
Your older brother, right?
No, my oldest brother, Mark, was he was Barry Sanders.
Oh, he'd get away.
Oh, he'd get that around that dinette table. Fucking like, no, you weren't. He wasn't taking. I'd just take his.
See, Corny's right. You were slow.
Huh?
Corny's right. You were slow. You'd get caught.
Well, how was I slow?
Well, because your brother couldn't be caught. He would take off, but you'd get caught.
No, I wasn't slow. I was a man. I took everybody's punishment. See, that's
You did the chin. You did the chin thing.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question.
Ask me a question.
All right. So if you're a monster, which in our business I would be considered a monster.
In my business, I'm a monster.
Right. So, but I'm just saying physically.
Oh,
So Michael Myers, move fast, move slow. Jason, move fast, move slow.
right.
Frankenstein, move fast, move slow. The Mummy, fast or slow?
The Bigfoot
Fast or slow?
at the wrestling.
As I said, so why, when you're a large human being and you're in an athletic event, why would you move fast when you have that's what the difference between you and the vanilla midget is. The vanilla midget has to move fast. I don't have to move fast because when I get you, I kill you.
Yes.
So, yeah. So it's just.
But yes, in the ring. But you're doing this at home with mom, also at age 10.
Yeah. Well, I'm working the big man gimmick early.
From way early. That's
Yeah.
huge.
I'm 14 years old. I'm 6'7".
So you were first trained by mom.
Yeah. My mom used to tell me she never chopped. She fucking went full Stephanie McMahon, fucking blister the fuck out of your slaps.
She's still gone. She's still gone, and the company's not sold. Just a quick update for everybody tuning in to see if we were going to talk about that. So, moving on.
Yeah, what happened to that? Boy, that thing just petered out. Didn't
You
it?
know the news. It's the hottest thing in the world until the next thing is.
So does that mean that I won't have the sheriffs knocking on my door tomorrow to make sure to give me a wellness check?
Probably not for that, but they may be asking you if you enjoyed your shipment of Factor. Maybe they were knocking on the door to talk about that. It's a new year. People are reconsidering the way they eat. Now, Factor is all about eating healthy and making it easier to do this, okay? They're going to help you achieve your goals. Maybe this is one of your New Year's resolutions, okay? And they're here to help you with this. You're going to save time, have the energy you need to tackle everything on the to-do list with Factor's ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. Get Factor and not only skip the trip to the grocery store, but skip the chopping, prepping, and cleaning too. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in 2 minutes. That's the magic number I want you guys to remember throughout this whole thing. 2 minutes, it's ready. You heat it, you enjoy. It's not frozen. I've tried services where it's shipped, the ingredients. I have to become a goddamn sous chef in the kitchen, okay? And then the time. Who has this kind of time? 2 minutes, and it's ready to rock when it comes to your door. No matter what your lifestyle is, Factor has the meals to help you live your plan to the fullest. Keto, Calorie Smart, vegan, veggie, Protein Plus. Those meals are on the menu for you every week, prepared by chefs and approved by dietitians. Each meal has all the ingredients you need to feel satisfied all day long. With 34 chef-prepared, dietitian-approved weekly options, there's always something new to try, okay? Round out your meal with some snack supplies they give you, and cut back on takeout. This is 2 minutes, and it's ready to rock. If you're vegan or vegetarian, they are ready for you. So get Factor. Enjoy clean eating without the hassle. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals
looking
delivered to your door.
This is our first spot with them, and God, some of those meals look delicious.
Yeah.
I'm a huge green bean guy. That one meal had like a whole side of green beans.
And listen to this deal you're giving them, Kevin. If you go to factor75.com/Nash60, now the reason you're putting that 60 in is you're getting 60% off your first box, all right? Factor75.com/Nash60, and you're getting 60% off your first box. Try it and let us know what you think at Factor. Thank you, Factor, for joining us here.
Yeah, thank you, Factor.
Podcast.
Look forward to putting that into my nutritional mix.
Absolutely. You know what, Kev? Powerball, let's say you hit, 1.2 bill. Okay.
All right.
Now, the reality of that is you'll probably walk around with half, right? Let's just say $650 million.
Let's just say 4 after they fucking tax you 19 times.
And, well, I was going to say, because you'll take the lump sum, and then,
They'll tax
you get taxed. So you got $400 million. Your life has changed.
I would probably open a wrestling business until I went broke. Isn't that always, that was the ongoing thing when I was broke in. What do you do if you won $100 million? So I'd open a territory until I was broke.
Excellent.
Yeah, I mean,
where you put it, where I want to know, what are my options if I'm the ticket holder and I have $400 million coming?
Okay, now are you in a state that you have 1 year before they tell the world that you won this thing?
I think, unfortunately, I am.
Okay, I think I am too. So that gives you a year to set up security for everyone that you love in your life, because $400 million, everybody that you love is now a kidnap possibility.
Target,
yeah. There you go. So I guess I had to buy a high rise on the ocean, move all my loved ones in it, put a wall around it. Maybe
Is it more trouble than it's worth at a certain point?
Yeah.
But you don't bail on it. You got the fucking ticket.
Oh no, I mean, I think that in a year's time, like how much for here in Daytona Beach area, I would probably open
meth clinic.
I mean, I think it would be. I think there would be a lot of. One thing would be vocational, like a vocational where
training
to retrain people to put them back in the job force. Of course, you'd have to have some kind of housing. I'd probably build like a campus and have a wing to the campus that was very secure. That would be for like abused women and their children, so I could protect them and retrain them and get them up and going. I would definitely deal with substance abuse. I would deal with, and this is my number one situation in life. I was watching the television the other night, and they were talking to it was a black woman. I didn't catch her name, but she's involved in education, has been for a billion years. She's a talking head on a lot of different shows, and she was saying that in this particular city in America, that during the pandemic, the 4th grade math proficiency had dropped 50%. And she says, "Do you want to know what the numbers are?" She says, "The numbers were 6% of the students were proficient. Now it's 3%."
Right.
And she says, "Guess the city." And I looked at my wife. I said, "Detroit."
Detroit. I was gonna...
And the lady said, "Detroit." And I said, "Fuck."
Yeah.
So if we can't, if we can be worried about all this top secret shit, and, we've got the
documents and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we got this, we got the 99 billion trillion dollar let's kick the can down the road thing coming up. I think that's tomorrow.
Tomorrow or June.
I mean, it'll be June, but I mean, sooner or later we've got to come to the conclusion that we really don't need to spend $900 billion on defense, and we need to put some money into education, because our number one thing that we export are really stupid motherfuckers.
That's a gross national product.
Yes, that's I mean, there are just the fact that fucking people are contacting me after reading something on TMZ that was a dark fucking comment. What the fuck? Everybody, please, man, just once a week, read something. Read something. Read a fucking book. You know? God damn it. People are so fucking stupid. And how about the guy that ran in Albuquerque in New Mexico? The vote's like 70 to 20%, and he gets 4 guys to go out and shoot the council people and try.
Oh, did you see?
What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And lo and behold, oh my God, I can't believe it. Really, he's an election denier.
Mm-hmm.
How
did
many?
Did you see him though? Did you see him?
Yeah. That guy's he's gonna be like that tree in Yellowstone when you can drive through it. That's what he's gonna look like after about 6 months in the hole,
under lock and key.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you will put the money toward public service.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna get me I'll get me a G6 or something. I'm gonna get me something that I can travel with when I want to. That's got range, but at the same time that I could lease out and get get a write off. And I mean, I would definitely open up a gym on the ocean. That would be where I would train, and I would handpick all my equipment. But it would just be, I'd probably just take one of the condos and just buy it and buy every unit and then just have that my place, and just have have a sushi chef on one floor that was my guy. Have get up in the morning, get a massage, get fucking chiropractic care, get a little have some grub, get a workout, maybe take a helicopter ride.
Now you mentioned the plane.
Yeah.
Would you get your license and fly it, or no desire for that?
That's Bob Nash. Bob Nash just told me that there's a guy called a pilot.
Write him a check.
That's how he feeds his family. So I'll sit in the back and have a fucking have a cocktail. Yeah.
So
how about you? What are you doing? What are you doing with $400 million?
I honestly.
I mean,
that's half of that is my daughter's college.
I was going to say $200 million is going to college.
Christ. But the remaining 200 I could invest for when the little one gets there. I'm sure.
Now your wife's going to hit you up and go, we really should open a theatrical school, and you guys.
She has that already.
I mean, but she
wants a second.
Yeah, no, you guys will be doing shit off Broadway, and you guys are, yeah.
Yeah, the money's earmarked. It would all go into creative pursuits. I'd end up like Phil Spector. The hair would be out of control, and I'd be a reclusive. No, I honestly asked you because when first of all, you consider the danger, which we already talked about.
Yeah, that's horrible.
You consider a reality of a time when almost all markets are toxic right now.
Yeah, anything you put your money into, you're going to lose.
Yeah, I mean that's what you're faced with.
Yeah, I mean I guess gold. Like
man, how goddamn much gold are you buying now?
Fuck, man, what is it? 1836? I don't even know what it is an ounce right now. Anybody what's gold an ounce right now, guys? See, we'll get that number. See how many ounces we're gonna buy at fucking with 300.
Yeah, $400 million.
Wow, 19. I haven't seen it up at 19 in a while.
Yeah, it looks like a few month climb to where we are now.
But it's what's that top number there? Go back. What is that there? See, man, that motherfucker one time has been above $2,000. Can we just look up the highest gold has ever sold per ounce? Can we pick that up? Yeah, there's 2028 right there. I think that may be. I don't think there's been many times because I buy gold, and I mean I buy where I have gold.
The bullion, yeah.
Yeah, I buy where it's physically. I can fucking rub my cock on it. It's not one of these pieces of paper that tell me I have gold.
Slicker than come on a gold.
I had a really interesting conversation because I was talking to my accountant this week, and we were talking about just this whole thing about the money, and I said to him, I said, well, we could put it in Tesla, and then we could lose 60% of it, and he had lost like $100,000 in Bitcoin. And so we're talking about all these different, bullshit things. And he said, that right now, he said that California is really pushing on it being basically in 10 years, absolutely zero emission. Like everything will be electric.
Car?
Yeah, everything will be electric.
Buses and everything.
Everything will be electric. He says, and then at the same time, it'll be a Thursday afternoon, and there's going to be this fucking breaking news.
Everyone's charging.
That the grid can't hold it, and it's going to be like that drought shit where you can't fucking do your lawns, so you can't charge on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and once again it'll be Big Brother fucking just. But it's for the sake of let me see here. 4% on a 12-month, super boring but a good investment.
Well, that's a CD?
Yeah, CD.
12-month CD. Okay.
Yeah, so you're getting 4% in a climate that's at a 7.8% inflation.
I'd like a $400 million CD.
I bet you could get 10% on $300 million. If you sat it for 36 months.
In what? In a mutual fund?
I don't know. I'm sure there's some kind of annuity that could take that kind of. I mean, it might have to be in Dubai or Saudi Arabia or someplace else.
Yeah, 10 seems high. Probably get between 5 and 7.
How about if you? I mean, at one point I had a 6.2 tax deferred
annuity.
Yeah, they changed some laws and I fucking lost it. There was Eaton Vance was a company that had I want to say a 3.75 tax deferred, and you put the money into an account, and it gave you a checkbook. And I used to keep a couple $100,000 in that back in the Turner days. And it was just, it was
for
covered.
how long was it? You could just keep it in?
Yeah, you had to have a balance.
Right.
I want to think the balance was maybe 300 or 400.
But you could write checks against it?
Yeah, you could write checks against it, which was nice because once like right now the markets, they're saying if they don't kick the can down. We're going to go into recession. The fucking stock market's going to crumble, and we could go into a depression. And I still am not absolutely. I would not bet against China fucking making a move on Taiwan come summer, because people are starting to. Remember, I talked about the cat that was saying how China had 10 years before.
Yes.
So actually, I'm watching Scarborough the other morning, and he brought the whole thing up, and my wife was watching it too, and she goes, "Weren't you just talking about that like 2 weeks ago?" I said, "Yeah, a little bit ahead of the curve." But no, I said, "Yeah." I said, I said I saw it on Rogan's podcast.
So yeah, point being,
you could do a lot of good with it.
You could, and that's an interesting perspective on your part there, being able to, because how much do you need to live on, really, right? If you're talking about $400 million,
I have enough I have enough money personally right now for my lifestyle to live. You know,
so you could put the entire $400 million to use in a public service and still be comfortable.
But I would like to, I'd love to give. If I had $400 million. Okay, I think it'd be nice to fucking come on the show and while we're all talking ahead of time, go, oh, by the way, I'm going to send each of you guys $1 million.
That would be great as well. Yeah.
You're going to have to fuck with the taxes, but and I would do that for fucking people that were what I call, I've got 2 or 3 little teams of people that help me in my life, and it would just be, hey, this isn't going to fucking make or break your life, but it's going to give you that fucking nest egg, so you can really fucking understand when Continental Divine, when Albert Brooks says, "You never touch the nest egg," you'll understand.
Excellent.
So, no, I bet
any Continental Divide reference on this show. I know Wesley just popped for that.
But also I was really thought about this, and I said, I bet you I could get like I don't know what a G League basketball team would cost, but like the Daytona Beach, like either the Heat or the Orlando, the Magic have like a G League team and be the general manager. I think that'd be fucking, because that would be. And then I could maybe be on something called Guppy Tank, like a small Mark Cuban.
Shark Tank Jr.?
Yeah, Shark Tank Jr. and in the G League. Except am I the only motherfucker that can't watch the Dallas Mavericks play basketball?
Why?
I can't take fucking Lucia. I can't.
Oh, really?
Oh, fuck. That motherfucker, if I play, I couldn't. I know everybody loves him, man. It's just like, fuck.
Well, the numbers I always see, like on SportsCenter, are ridiculous. I mean, he's the real deal, right?
I guess so, if you have the fucking ball 99.9% of the time. Fuck. I would actually see if I could rub one off during a game. Because, he's just fucking pounds the air out of the fucking ball.
Listen, those numbers are the real deal. And he draws, too. He's a draw.
Yeah.
I get it, man.
I wouldn't bang him.
But so now you wouldn't produce a movie? Produce Kliq the film, or
no? I would do my. I have a movie that I've wanted to do. It's called King of the Road, and it's basically, now it would be great because it'd be the Attitude Era of wrestling. So it'd be like a kickback, and I'd have Channing be Shawn Michaels. Because that motherfucker's so athletic, he could do anything.
Make him be Chad. Make him, but call him Chad. Chad Frost. Yeah,
the Chad. I've always wanted to do the Chad Frost story.
Well, you should pitch Paul. See if is there still a WWE Films division, or is that
I don't know,
that by the wayside. So I pulled some stories of post lottery winning nightmares that we could use for evidence for anyone out there saying that no, there'd be no problem with me winning even something as small, quote unquote, as this person who won a $20,000 lottery. It says, quote, I won $20,000 from a lotto a few years ago. It was like a saving grace for the medical bills I had, but a death sentence for my relationship with my family. I had family members whom I hadn't talked to in months or years reaching out to me asking for money. I became the inconsiderate, money-hoarding cousin and niece. I don't regret winning the money. It's helped me get into my own home. However, I do regret accepting the money publicly. There it is. Once again.
Is this person from Ethiopia?
But unfortunately, $20,000 house.
What the fuck? $20,000. I took care of my medical bills, paid off my house. What? Where the fuck do you live?
It's a beautiful adobe hut.
Yeah. Where do you live? In Jackson, Mississippi, right next to the water purification plant? Jesus. Fucking $20,000. You can't fucking get 20. Can you fill up with that?
No.
20 grand?
Maybe this letter was sent in 1942 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
How about this one? My ex. Go ahead.
I was just say signed J. Paul Getty.
Right. My ex-fiance won just over $86 million a couple of weeks after he proposed. He kept it under wraps for a couple of months while he figured out the details and made solid plans. However, in Illinois, you can't claim lottery prizes anonymously. So once it went public, all hell broke loose. He quit his job and became a recluse. We wake up to at least 10 voicemails every morning from people he didn't even know asking for money. People started showing up to his mom's house demanding she make him give more money. Then the threats came to our apartment. They clearly didn't buy a house with the $86 million. We decided to move to a different state and paid for his mom to move as well. There simply was no going back to the life we shared and loved, so we amicably broke off the engagement. It's been about a year and a half since breaking up, and he's drunkenly called me a few times apologizing, regretting ever turning in the winning ticket. Him and his mom are now safe, but they lost touch with many old friends and relatives. Now my ex is... You know where I thought that was going? That he kept it quiet until he had the prenup drawn up.
Fuck yeah.
And she was entitled to the $6,000 in the checking account that she...
I'd be taking the fucking... If I wasn't married, I'd be... I'd be in like Slovakia or someplace looking for one of those, looking for a green card. It's like there's a place down in Costa Rica, and it's like all Americans. There's like a Marriott resort down there, and like DiCaprio's got a crib down there. And so I went down and I was doing some business down there. And I started to meet all the higher ups that, it's almost like the mafia down there. Every one of these guys has got like a 22-year-old Costa Rican with like a double G, rack job, teeth, like the Ultimate Warriors, giant teeth and just
tombstones in the mouth.
Yeah, it's just like, and it was so insane. And I'm thinking to myself, like, with the Bluechew, fucking, I remember when Viagra first came out. I remember when Bob Dole did the commercial. Do you remember that? Yeah, Bob Dole did a commercial. They were just like, and I forget what comedian it was, but just like, the last thing I want to think about is Bob Dole with a fucking heart on.
It was probably Norm Macdonald because he did a very good Bob Dole impression. Do you remember that? And he would do the stiff hand with the pencil in it too. Yeah, there are a lot of problems with the lottery. I would need to security would be first. I'd be very nervous about all, especially with young kids. I would need something to relax me, like Mindbloom. Now, anxiety, stress, depression. This is
me. That's all 6. Put that back up.
You want to bring up the graphic here? Let's go down like stress, anxiety.
Yes, anxiety, yes. Bad habits, not really. Depression. Feeling lost. Where are we? And lack of purpose.
You're looking for the building that you're in already, remember?
Yeah, exactly. Where am I?
Listen, this is you, but many more of us. And Here's a quote from an actual user. It says, after 10 years of anxiety, I can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. That's a testimonial from a Mindbloom customer named Molly. 10 years. Think about that. If you don't live with anxiety and depression, it's easy just to look at someone, maybe someone you love, wonder why they just can't get up, get going, fix themselves. We all do that. We think we're being helpful. You say, come on, you tell them to change their perspective or give them things to think about. But sometimes you need help at a different level. Maybe you're even thinking about this for yourself. You see others living their life when you'd settle for one day without the feeling of everything collapsing on you. It's hard, but it doesn't have to be this way, okay? Mindbloom knows this, and they can help, okay? They're the leader in at-home ketamine therapy for people looking for a new way to treat anxiety and depression. They combine science-backed medicine with a guided treatment plan. It's affordable. It's fast-acting also. A lot of these medications these doctors put on, it take weeks and weeks and weeks to see any results. To begin, take Mindbloom's online assessment. Okay, then you're going to schedule a video consultant with a licensed psychiatric clinician. If approved, you'll work with Mindbloom on your own specific treatment plan. Okay, this is tailor-made for each of their clients. All right, you'll be mailed a customized kit complete with medicine, a journal, and treatment materials. It's not a one-size-fits-all. After only 2 sessions, 87% of Mindbloom clients reported improvements in depression and 85% reported improvements in anxiety. Okay, it's time to enter your next chapter in mental health and well-being. Achieve transformational outcomes with Mindbloom. And right now, Mindbloom is offering listeners $100 off your first 6-session program when you sign up at mindbloom.com/Kliq. Use promo code Kliq, spelled Kliq, at checkout. Go to mindbloom.com/Kliq, promo code Kliq for your $100 off. That's mindbloom.com/Kliq. Don't forget the promo code Kliq. I don't want to get off this lottery thing. And by the way, you brought up something very funny about these guys moving to other countries. Lanny Poffo moved, like I buckled when he told me he was going to be moving to Ecuador. And, he was talking about cost of living, and he's a very frugal cat. And his whole thing was like the financial thing. He's telling me about, do you know how much your house would be, and it was that whole thing. But then if you go to his Instagram, Kev, I want you to follow Lanny Poffo tonight and scroll down the Instagram. It is a cavalcade of photos of him with young, nubile Ecuadorian women with perfect teeth, not the Jim Hellwig dental plan. And he's clearly living the dream down there, playing off his success as the genius. Or, there you go. So there's just one of many. And plus he's got that goddamn rope that you hear about all the time. So he's getting the job done. So it must be a thing. There's another one. She looks to be of age, I suppose.
Yeah, give me a third one, because so far I'm not that impressed.
Keep going. We could be here all day.
Well, I got to get one where I go, okay. So far, okay. She's
Folks listening, this is why you've got to get us on YouTube. You've got to check out the visuals of the show.
Oh, she's a little dirty girl. Little tatted neck.
The haircut, go back to that. The haircut was not unlike the Billy Bibbit character from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Go to that shot of him with the tattooed girl. The hairstyle on Lanny right there. Bring up.
I was gonna go Sling Blade.
Yeah, a little bit. If someone can grab the Billy Bibbit character from, I'm forgetting the actor's name now, from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Very, very similar do there. So that's obviously a thing.
I want to watch the World Series. I want my cigarettes.
That's right. What a great film. There you go. It's a little more going on up top there with him, though. We'll give it the Sling Blade.
You know what they say, You get their legs in the air. They all she was 16 years old. You get their legs in the air. They all look the same. 16 going on 35.
Brad Dourif, that was the actor's name.
Yeah.
Jack is next level cool. You know, we did a show about this already with actors, but we're never gonna have another Nicholson, are we?
No.
Like nothing even close.
I saw a great clip that Steve Austin sent me the other day. It was Burt Reynolds, and he was talking about that Burt and Clint Eastwood are buddies, and they went into this acting thing together. Like it was when they first broke in, and they're in the room together, and the guy turns to Clint Eastwood first, and he says, you talk so fucking slow, and you know, he said, you got this Adam's apple that sticks out your neck. He says, you know, and he just kind of just berates, you know, Clint. And then Burt Reynolds, Burt Reynolds says, sir, what about me? And the guy looks at Burt and says, you just can't fucking act. So he says, they're leaving, and fucking, you know, and Eastwood, you know, uses one of his 12 words for that month, and fucking, you know, Burt says, I don't know what the fuck you're laughing at. He goes, ain't nothing you can do about that motherfucking Adam's apple. He said, I can learn to act. But I mean, just when we did The Longest Yard, and we knew we were all sitting in these bleachers, and we knew that Burt was coming on set that day. And that I was so, I mean, and I was talking to Steve, and we were both like saying like that was such a highlight to do the day with Burt, and then go back to the hotel bar, and that fucking those elevator doors opened up, and Burt walked out, and I was just like, oh fuck, man, I'm gonna get to fucking have guy time with somebody that was on fire.
Yeah.
Like there's not, because we've been going back and forth. Steve and I have been going back and forth with the Elvis thing. And I sent him this.
What that was singing to each other? What do you?
No,
think?
just like different clips. And I sent him this one with it's really it's to a modern song, but it's him and Ann Margaret dancing. And he sent me one. We go back and forth, and I said, you know, the only thing is, man, I said, fucking unbelievable run. I said, but dude, I said, I've outlived this cat by 21 years. And it's the one when she's in red in the movie. But
there.
Yeah, that one up on the corner, that one right there. We can't get that to the movement one of that. You should see Elvis. I mean, we both just think that Elvis is the coolest. Have you been in my house? You haven't been in my house yet. I have
not in. We talk in the driveway.
Yeah, you'll get there. Don't worry.
Scott didn't, so I don't deserve to.
Don't worry. The cops didn't get in either. But
they couldn't get over your bull.
I've got a Penley painting of Elvis in my house. Like probably that era of Elvis that I'm a huge Presley, and I said to him, but I outlived him by 21 years. Like, and Steve's response was, look at this motherfucker, come on. That's Ann Margaret too. I mean, it ain't some like run of the mill, you know. Fucking get it, Elvis. And he said, but you got to realize, you know, Elvis was doing caveman drugs. And I was like, he was doing some shit, some garbage. But,
yeah.
That was the whole thing when Conan and I were traveling at one time, like St. Angelo and shit. Happy birthday, Conan. I'm sorry I missed it, but happy birthday. And we both said at the same time, Raquel Welch, and we went, number 2, and we both went, Ann Margaret. And we were just like, no, get out of here. Like, Ann Margaret too? I'm like, yeah, Ann Margaret also, man. Like, there was just something about Ann Margaret.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like she was, and I saw a thing. I actually put it on Twitter, but Meltzer had put this thing up, and it was a test shot of Raquel Welch, and she was Maryanne. Like they casted her as Maryanne
From Gilligan's Island?
and there's the photo. It's on my Twitter. I know it's somewhere on my Twitter. I don't know, but just see if you can find the picture of Raquel Welch as Maryanne, like when they were looking to cast her. And I'm thinking, could you imagine like Tina Louise and Raquel Welch? Like then it would have been that's the only way I would ever have went with Maryanne. There we go. God,
Wow, but very much a different vibe than
yeah, she's fuckable.
Yeah,
She's
yes.
so fuckable. I mean,
Doesn't
that's just,
have that innocent pigtail girl quality.
I don't want that on an island.
Right, but the two characters, you'd have to contrast Ginger and Marion. Just look at the hips, the thighs,
That's
the way
just
the shorts.
such a perfect. And she had that American
That is
Indian
visual
in her, man.
Bluechew right there.
Yeah, she had that fucking just that American Indian in her, that fucking high cheekbones, and oh god, I just really think that's as beautiful a woman that's ever been on this planet.
Mm-hmm. Aged so well too. Probably with minimal. Well, who knows? I was gonna say
Who
minimal
cares?
Surgery, but who knows?
Here's one for you. Who the fuck is that Brady for 80 movie fucking supposed to bring to the fucking theater? You know it?
No.
So it's Brady for 80. It's like 9 to 5. There we go.
Oh, I saw the trailer. Yeah,
What
I didn't know what it was
the
called.
Fuck.
My mom will probably see it.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, what, were they gonna like go around to fucking nursing homes and play this fucking thing? Like, what the fuck? I don't get it. I just sometimes I don't get the
market.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Film market.
Yeah, just I don't get it. Like, how did that movie get made?
Yeah, I mean, I say that a lot, dude, and there it is.
But look at Jane Fonda at like 82 or whatever.
Well, we're looking at a very,
I don't give
very doctored.
Yeah,
photo,
but you,
I can make you look like that.
No,
in
you see
Photoshop.
her. You see her in person. She fucking you know. I know every time I put her over on my Twitter or something, I get all these. You're talking about Saigon Jane.
Oh,
and like
Hanoi Jane.
Yeah, Hanoi Jane. It's like, yeah. How old is Robert? Robert Redford's getting old as fuck. Jane Fonda, 85.
Still
so that's
still working.
At this point, that's what I have to do my Penthouse Forum. I'm 63 years old, semi-retired, and I ran into Jane Fonda. Little did I know, she had followed my career while Ted paid for my contract. Well, one thing led to another, and we went at it. I'm a normal-sized guy, 11 and a half rock hard, the size of a high C can.
She was around a little, right? I remember guys telling me that.
Yeah, I saw her here and there.
At functions.
I saw her here and there.
Yeah. Did you? What did you think of Ted?
I thought he was great.
Yeah.
I thought he was great.
All the boys say that. I don't know if they're just being polite, but
I just liked his. He was just a no bullshit fucking guy.
Right. I liked his book.
I guarantee you, like that. If Eric could have just spoken to Ted, because Eric is a no bullshit guy.
Right.
You know, it's just like I always loved that about Eric is you could motherfuck him and he'd motherfuck you back, and you'd go out and you'd do the business and come back, and then that night at the Marriott, he'd sit down next to you and go, "Do you want to drink a beer with me, you prick?" "Fuck yeah, you son of a bitch."
Yeah.
And you fucking have a beer, and it was like, but that's, you know what, he was talking the other day on something. I was watching one of his podcasts, and he goes, "I'm not some analyst. I'm just a Detroit guy," and that just, man, resonated to me because it's the same thing. It's just like, there's just something about Detroit guys that we just kind of have a different kind of take on things. But it's just like, I'm not saying I'm Goldman Sachs. I'm just saying I'm a Detroit guy. And I was just like, I'm with you, Eric. I know exactly what you're talking about. So,
Eric and Eric's time in WCW, no, AWA. I'm sorry, Eric's time in AWA. His start is a really interesting. He had a very good book, by the way. His first book, I know he's got a book out now, but the first one that I guess WWE published,
the one is
Controversy Creates Cash. Is what it's called. It was an excellent book because his story is very much the entrepreneurial spirit, the clawing your way up. I mean, no one handed him anything. I mean,
no.
he was a promotions guy, hawking some toy product and started advertising.
And he got fucked with because he was handsome.
Oh, because people thought, yeah.
It was, you know, a fucking weatherman, and you know.
Yeah, I did kind of have that weatherman look, right? But anyway, so he really ground floor, buying time on Vern's show. But because of the looks, though, too, and his presentational salesmanship, he gets a shot holding the stick, and it's really an amazing story. That start to executive vice president of WCW, and of course everything he did there, and convincing guys like Vern first, and then later on Ted Turner, to let him in. First to a very protected world, and you know Vern was very old school that way, and having an outsider.
I only met him one time.
But you did meet him, though.
Yeah, I met him one time. I met him at we ran the Felt Forum at Madison Square
At the Gardens.
Yeah, we ran. I wrestled Van Hammer that night.
And what was Vern doing there?
He was just there because Greg was with the company.
Oh, right. What'd you think of Greg?
He was cool. I mean, he was kind of a dick because we were greenhorns. But he did come down one time. Like a couple of us, he showed up at center stage and got in the ring with us and, showed us some shit. Like he actually put his fucking boots on, and there's not many guys that have any experience. Like I tell the Mike Rotunda story all the time where I was working with Mike and I was fucking cutting him in half every night, dropping elbows on him. And he sat there at center stage for an hour and a half and let me drop fucking elbows on him and slam him and just trying to teach me to work as he was working with me.
Mm.
And he was just like, and every night he would say, we'll do, we'll lock up, and we'd grab a head, and I was the heel, but he would call the match. And he says, it's, we did it, we built it, add another hip toss, add this, add that, it's just real rudimentary. And then it was just like, okay, like when that match was over, we were sitting, in the locker room, and he had walked like to because heels and baby faces could be in the same locker room. And he'd walk down and he said to me, he says, just so you know, because nobody had cell phones, just so you know, tomorrow you're calling a match. And I didn't sleep a fucking wink. Because, when you first break in, man, guy says, You know, this everything was called.
Yeah.
Headlock. I headlock you? No, motherfucker, you can't be screaming.
But isn't that the way to learn? Eventually, someone's just got to hand it to you and let's see what you do.
I tell you, I remember when they were going to cut. They were cutting some guys, and I heard from Eric that they were going to cut Mike. And I said, man, I'll pay a salary out of my fucking money. I said, don't cut Mike. And I told Mike that story. I told Eric the story how Mike took care of me, and fucking Eric said, we ain't cutting him.
So he didn't.
No.
Oh wow.
No.
Does Mike know that?
No.
He does now.
I've always had the utmost respect for him because on top of that, he was a shooter, man.
Mm-hmm.
If Robbie Steiner says a guy can go, he can go.
Mm.
You know,
Right.
I like that whole varsity club thing they did.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a good game.
Yeah, no, that was cool.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking crossover athletes is what we're talking, and we're talking Vern. Vern makes me think of Minnesota. They couldn't beat the goddamn Giants, I know that. But listen, we are down to 4 NFL teams here as we sit here on Monday. 4 teams, 2 conference championship games, and only a few more shots for you to win big on the playoffs with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official.
Yeah, we sucked a fucking dick this past one.
Well, I had one leg of the parlay was very safe. That was Dallas giving 2.5 a couple of weeks ago.
Evans almost caught that ball with like a minute and a half left. I thought that we were going to get that cover, but
CeeDee Lamb covered the yardage, but I don't think Elliott got in the end zone.
No, Elliott didn't get in the end zone.
He didn't get a lot of action at all.
No.
But we're counting down to Super Bowl 57. New customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in free bets instantly. And you can stretch that, man. You can make that work. If you're not a new customer, you can feel the conference championship thrills with our stepped-up same-game parlays, okay? It increases your money exponentially. I love parlaying my action. Take your shot at an even bigger NFL payout and boost your winnings with each leg you add up to 100%.
I got Trevor Lawrence throwing 5 picks.
What are we putting together? Putting together a little slip there, aren't we?
What do I got
there?
here?
Giants. Well, this might not be up to date for Monday, but it is that easy, folks. If you see what's happening there, just clicking on your team, and you could parlay those and tie them all together. It would be a 5-game parlay, it looks like there, and it increases your odds. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to DraftKings Sportsbook. Go to the app, okay? Use code TKNP, The Kevin Nash Podcast. New customers bet $5 on the conference championships and get $200 in free bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code TKNP, The Kevin Nash Podcast. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for detail. Steve. Breaking news, everybody. Manscaped now sells beard products. That's right. They are once again revolutionizing men's grooming with the brand new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Listen to this set. Listen, from a beard trim to a fresh shave, the technology behind Beard Hedger Pro Kit allows you to shape your signature beard look. Now you can finally use Manscaped products to make your drapes match your carpet by going to manscaped.com and using the promo code Kliq for 20% off and free shipping. Grooming does not need to be hard. This is Manscaped's entire push. I love the products. The set I got, obviously I'm not using the beard gimmick, Kevin, different story, but I love their products. They're waterproof. You can shave in the shower to avoid all that hair in the sink. The blade is tough on hair but smooth on your face, leading to single-stroke efficiency that brings satisfaction one stroke at a time. The Pro Kit doesn't end there, though. They have 4 dermatologist-tested formulations for your post-trim care. First, you've got the beard shampoo and conditioner. Okay, you need to remember that your hair is different. All your hair is different. Your beard hair is more coarse. It's easier to damage than the hair on your head. That's why the kit has made shampoo and conditioner specially designed to moisturize, reduce ingrown hairs, replace natural oils, and promote your beard health. Next, the kit has Manscaped's beard oil. It's an essential piece for your main facial accessory. And cap off the kit with Beard Balm, a pomade that shapes, styles, moisturizes, and tames for a sculpted look to attract any fellows or dames. The Pro Beard Kit also comes with 3 gifts: a beard brush, comb, and scissors to ensure your beard is ready to impress. You're looking at it right there if you're watching us on video. There is the kit, and don't forget your 20% off and free shipping comes when you use the code KLIQ, K-L-I-Q, at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use code KLIQ, K-L-I-Q, Manscaped Beard Hedger, 1 stroke, 1 guard, 20 lengths. Thank you, Manscaped. And
I actually use the Shrub Manscaped. I take it in the shower often and just do this here and then around here, because it's great because it's got the light on it too, So I just,
yes, right.
Yeah,
you can get a fine line, straight line.
I knock all this shit off here with it, so it'll be nice to have the actual.
Phenomenal.
Yep,
great.
I'll be Manscaped out.
You will, man. And don't forget your ball toner too. That's always a big component. All right. It is time to Ask Nash. Hashtag Ask Nash if you want to participate. That's how you do it. And we have fans here, too. We have fans in the room. So you guys can participate as well, okay? Let's start with Fernum Schnavitz III Jr. What did you think of the movie The Wrestler? I don't think we ever talked about this.
I just... It covered a piece of wrestling, but to me it would have been way better had there was no yin to the yang, like his proficiency or wherever he was at the top was that short montage of clippings, like there wasn't a match where he was at a WrestleMania. If he would have came from being the champion at a WrestleMania to being in that room with 6 other guys doing that signing, there's such more of a yin to the yang, and there's so much more of a reason for him to basically continue with after the heart attack. Like he just can't give it up. Like some people that maybe have like a last match that thinking about having another last match and another last match.
Higher heights. So
that was my only. I thought he did a great job. I thought it was casted incredibly well. It was good. It was an enjoyable movie. I just think that there's another one to be made out there to maybe tell the big league story.
Were you ever around when he was hanging around?
I see him all the time. I mean, I've seen Mickey for 25 years, since Wild Orchid out at Gold's Gym, Venice.
Okay,
he trains out there. Good guy.
Pasquale Maggiore, when it comes to podcasts and other media, how much behind-the-scenes information is too much information? And is it too late to put the toothpaste back in the tube? Well, yeah, I mean, God, we know everything right away. We know every behind-the-scenes, every locker room incident that happens. We're debating on the sheets. Well, this is Ask Nash. This isn't Ask Sean. Go ahead.
Well,
Do we know too much?
I mean, I think that we keep something. We keep our cards at times. Like a lot of people don't know, and I'm just going to go ahead and say this, but WWE was sold to the Saudis, and then was bought back. Crazy, not known, but happened.
2-day deal. It happened, and then resale.
Vince made $1.6 billion on the sale. So you go figure that out.
In oil. How about in the house? Anyone have a question in the house? We have people here. David, our biggest fan. Kevin, after you guys attacked WCW and you launched Rey Mysterio like a lawn dart into the trailer, what was the vibe like backstage when the locals called the cops for gang activity?
The thing is the only physicality that was shown was Rey. Everything else was shot like cops, where it was all implied violence. Like, they came around the corner, Scott dropped the bat, I dropped the bat. Like, those guys were already bent over. So there was none of that really shitty working where you're out in the back going, We didn't have any of that. It was just Rey jumped. I caught him. I didn't make a noise when I threw him. The only noise was when his body hit the trailer. And I think that's why it worked. It almost got fucked up because Randy jumped on top of the limousine, which we've talked about a million times. But right. As long as your brother ends up fucking living somewhere in Ecuador, it's all good.
I do love to hear Kevin Sullivan say lawn dart whenever we would bring
lawn
that
dart.
up. Lawn dart. Yeah, he threw him like a lawn dart through it. Love me some Sullivan. Any other live questions?
I just got a text from Kevin Sullivan. I looked at it during the break, and it said, "Love you, Kev." So
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's all you got to say, right?
Yeah, and it didn't ask me, hey, are you in a bad place? He just said, "I love you." Love you too, Kev.
Sullivan's great.
He's the best.
Cav Manning. Let's do a kick out crew. My question is, how can I get unblocked from Nash, since I still don't know why I'm blocked? Mike Whitaker as well. Blocked on Twitter, don't know why. So Mike Whitaker and Cav.
You know what?
Manning.
If you're blocked on my Twitter, it's because you fucking did something, and I don't just block people just to block them.
Maybe someone hacked their account. Maybe someone got the password and said something.
Maybe somebody felt little keyboard warrior one night and didn't think that Nash would go back and go through every fucking thing that somebody said over the last 3 days and pick your shit out and block your ass. So guess what? I'm a fucking prick. I'll tell you a great story. I've told it on the show, I believe, before. Guy came up to me at a signing. He said, "Nash, you blocked me on Twitter. Can you unblock me?" I said, "Yeah, for $200. He goes, "No, seriously." I said, "No, for $200, I'll unblock you on Twitter." So he gave me the $200. I unblocked him. By the time he got to the door of the where he could leave the room, I reblocked him. He turned and walked over. He says, "What the fuck?" I said, "I told you I'd unblock you. I didn't say how long."
True story.
True story.
Cav Manning. Gentlemen, let's talk cock. Prior to the show, we heard a maid saw Kevin's hog. Any stories from dating days of women who couldn't take it, or women who wanted to date out of curiosity on how much he was packing? Ever had to use a governor because it was too much?
Well, I'm not a mongoloid. Jesus. You're supposed to have the skills to your job isn't to, I think what happens in life is so many guys watch porn and they think that that's what a woman wants. It's like, no, man. If it don't fit, you got to quit. So if it don't fit, I ain't hanging around. There's nothing worse than some girl saying, "Your cock's too big." And especially when they're blowing you.
I want to isolate that and make that my ringtone for my phone.
And they're blowing you, and it feels like they got one of those carrot graters on your fucking shaft.
Oh, just all teeth, right?
Yeah, it's just like, you know what? I'm telling you right now. People say there's no such thing as a bad blowjob. Bull fucking shit. And if they fucking, you don't get a second chance to fucking rub my shit raw. I'm
check,
old.
Please. You've done the check, please?
Yeah, I'm old. But I mean,
Well, not now. We're talking about your younger days.
Yeah, my younger days. I mean, there's a couple of fucking girls that I've been with that, it's like fucking, you swinging a fucking hot dog around the Hindenburg hangar. They're fucking 5'9". You go in there, just like Jesus. So you never know. You never know what you're gonna get.
Okay.
I've never had a girl look at me and just go, "Oh, you're too small." So I mean, but I'm proportionate. Put it that way.
Well, yeah, we're talking 7 feet tall though. So
yeah, but if you look at my hands, like I don't have, like I don't know.
It's off the rails already.
Whatever.
Zero Gaming Nash. If you guys would have opened the door when DX invaded if you guys would have opened the door when DX invaded WCW, how would you have booked a crossover pay-per-view from there? I get it.
There wouldn't have been one. Scott and I probably would have got fined.
That's true. What were you talking about when they were doing that?
Trying to get that old man to open the fucking gate. In retrospect, I should have fucking just blasted his ass.
What was the scene backstage?
Nobody knew. We were there. Scott and I were at the monitor, and we looked and we said, "Oh fuck!" I said, "They're right there," and they were pounding on that thing. And Scott and I ran down there, and they were yelling, "Let our boys go!"
Hilarious.
Yeah.
The good old days, man. We'll never have it like that again.
No.
Live question in the house. You're here. You waited all this time, so let's get up there. Bobby. Kevin, was there a reason for Hogan to stop wearing the NWO shirt, which he was paid $20,000 to wear, and wear other shirts to the ring?
I don't think he wore anything but... I think he wore the Hollywood shirt.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that still had an NWO logo on it. So he was just, he was selling his shirt. But the merchandising there was so fucking horrible, they didn't keep track of it worth a shit. So.
Alex Welding. Kev, any suggestions for raising a son? I have a 2.5-year-old right now. Sean, any suggestions for raising a daughter? I have a 5-month-old as well.
Love them unconditionally. They're gonna fuck up. They're gonna disappoint you. I promise you're gonna disappoint them. It's a give and take, but you have to, and don't be the dad that stops listening to music after Led Zeppelin. Like, I don't listen to anything but AC/DC. Grow with your kids; they'll appreciate it. You don't want to. There's a time. Your son's 2.5, I believe. So you're going to go through this period where you are his God, and then all of a sudden one day he's just going to look at you and go, "Dad, you're so fucking out of it," and it's going to come. Doesn't matter how fucking hip you are, how cool you are, it's going to come, because that's when he starts to see the wisdom in the old man. Instead of, you're no longer his playmate, you're now his fucking, you become his parent. And then you have that, which is some pretty tough times when you go through being the parent. And then from that, you get to about 24 and you start to become two men that happen to be genetically, bonded. It's your son, but now it's a man who has his own ideas, his own perceptions, and now you build a relationship at a different level, which I was just starting to get a chance to do. And I think that's my biggest thing, because nobody could make me laugh like my son, because he knew we had the same shit. Like, our shit was the same. And it just, and treasure it, man. Treasure every fucking day, because you don't know when you're going to get called. You don't know when something could happen to one of your children, God forbid. So just treasure it. Don't think that the run's forever, because I can from personal experience, man. My kid's run got cut short, and last week I made some off-color remarks that but I would never, for anybody out there, I would never do anything to harm myself, because I guess people don't realize I have a wife that's been with me for 35 fucking years, and it's like it's never been about me. I drive a fucking 05 Mustang. I know it sounds like that skit from fucking Saturday Night Live with fucking I drive a Dodge Stratus, but I do. I drive a 2005 Mustang. I don't give a fuck. It's never been about me. It's about the people that I take care of it, and that's your job. Is your father? You got a daughter. You got a son. Your job is to provide and protect. That's your job. That's all you got from me. Sean, what do you got?
Oh, how do I follow that? All true. Especially the savoring every moment and making sure that those times count. I mean, I think that's. I remember with my first daughter, as she was growing, when she gets to those like 7, 8, 9 years, when she's getting a little more independent, I look back and I was talking to my wife, and she would get a little like, oh my God, she's grown up so fast. I said, yeah, but I was here as much as I could be. I didn't want to be elsewhere other than work, and you have to do that. But I made the most of all my time. I spent a lot of time. And today, my daughter who's 17, there is that natural gap with some stuff. But she says to me and my wife still, I love hanging out with you guys because you're cool. And I guess that speaks a little bit to what Kevin said about, like, don't lose touch with stuff like the Led Zeppelin reference. Don't lose touch. Be available and be yourself. Don't take this. Don't assume this God role in trying to be a parent. Be yourself. Let them see your wrinkles. Let them see your mistakes, because they'll have them too. And when they do, they'll know it's okay because they saw it from a young age. And you said your daughter's 5 months. It's not too soon to start saving for college.
Oh. And make sure you're changing fucking diapers and
Oh, get in there. Get in there.
Yeah,
Get
the fuck in there, man. Get in there, man.
Let them see that.
My wife, the deal was she breastfed at night. I'd come get him out of the bassinet. He slept on the side of the bed. And she'd breastfeed him. Then I'd take him and change the diaper. And I'd change the first diaper every day, whether it was 3 a.m, 5 a.m, whatever it was. And so she could get some sleep. And it was just like, you're a team. You got to, but yeah, definitely got to, you got to get in there, man.
Word. We got in there today, man. What more can we say? Good God.
It goes something like this. Hello? Who is it? Volusia County Sheriff. What can I do for you? We're here for a wellness check. Are you fucking kidding me?
If you could have saved this all for a few days from now, you could have been on that show, that live PD show that I watched up there.
But you know what? My buddy turned me on to it. I was over at my buddy Joey Biggs' house, and he turned me on, and it's like, man, Volusia County and Daytona Beach is fucking, I mean, they get some fucking, they're in every other episode.
Yeah, they ride with them every weekend. It's 2 separate units. They have one crew with the county and then one crew with the city. And it's always It's always an adventure when they have a call.
Always.
But I can tell you that Kliq This is a production of Butch and Sundance Media, produced in association with Podcast Heat, created by Tristan Nash, Kevin Nash, Sean Oliver, producer Steve Kaufman, graphics by Dominic D'Angelo, title sequence and audio edit by Wesley Burleson, theme song by Dale Oliver, technical research by Tristan Nash, copyright 2023, Butch and Sundance Media. Kev, are you going to be alive to do another one?
I mean, God willing. I mean, I have no product in my hair. This is fucking just. I've been taking this colostrum product. My hair's growing like a month. Look at my skin. I have never had any Botox or anything. 63. I mean, I'm too fucking handsome not to be on this fucking planet.
Enough for me.